on? Welcome everybody, what is going on? So we have beaten Sevilla 2-1 in quite a weird game, to be totally honest. Not like the most conventional game that we've had so far, but quite a weird game where we got 2 deflections. And overall, you know, starting to line up, it was just a little bit strange. You were just thinking, okay, you know, what's going on here? But as the game progressed, we've started off the first half very, very poor. And then obviously we got better and better. I thought in the second half especially, there was a stint of like a good 10, 20, 25 minutes where I thought we were absolutely excellent. So the game was just kind of off. Welcome everybody in the chat, how you all doing? But like the game in of itself was just kind of off, where really like we started and it was just we started off pretty good actually. I thought, you know, the first 10 minutes I thought we were pretty decent. I thought, you know, we looked very, very sharp. We looked like we had an intent. We looked like we wanted to go forward. But then we started falling off, and then we started falling off more, and then just suddenly they scored a goal through just very poor marking. Bernat just being totally, you know, not even doing anything really, but not just like watching. It was a handball, yes. I mean, technically the ball hit the elbow, but it was still one of those things where you're like, that needs to be much better. You know, defending here needs to be much better. You've got so many excellent players. You've got so many excellent players on the pitch. The performance needs to be better. The defending needs to be better. It wasn't. You know, it is what it is. When you're 1-0 down, okay, you're playing away. You always expect to, you know, concede at least 1 or 2 goals. The main thing is to score the goals. You know, that's the key thing here when you're playing away. So we continue playing, and Vidal gets injured. And like James comes in. I mean, a lot of us expected James to start today, but like seeing Vidal get injured, obviously Vidal getting injured is a bad thing because you know, it's just the way it is. You know, Vidal is an excellent player, but seeing him get injured and then James come in, I was like, okay, you know what? James is in. He probably should have started. In all fairness, he comes in. 1 minute later, we get a goal. You know, he passes the ball to Ribery. Ribery tries to like get a cross in, takes a deflection, wicked deflection. You know, just an absolute tremendous deflection, and it goes in. Goalkeeper has no chance. 1-1 at that point. You're like, oh, you know what? Deflection, but who cares? It's an away goal in the Champions League. What more do you want? I mean, that's pretty much the main thing. You know, what more do you want besides an away goal in the Champions League? And then we continue, and then halftime comes around. Second half starts, and it's like, whoa. Where did this team just come from? First of all, we do a switch where Bernat goes off, Rafinha comes on. And we play much better. Like, there was these little triangles that we keep pressing on the left between James, Ribery, and Rafinha. The right is pretty much totally isolated. I mean, today Lewandowski himself was just totally isolated. I think he had 1 shot on target, or 1 shot in general, actually. So, in general, we weren't really that good. We didn't really create that much. But, like, every time we did create something, it took a deflection and went in. So, I'm not really complaining, because that's the same thing happened for the second half, you know? Ribery crossing ball to Thiago trying to head it onto goal. You're trying to head it downwards as you're taught to do, you know, heading it downwards onto the ground so the keeper has less of a chance to save it. Heads it down, takes a deflection, goes in, 2-1. Game over. Like, 2 deflections, game over, and that's what it is. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I can't really say we played all too well. Second half, you know, a good 10, 15, 20 minutes, I thought we did really, really well. But overall, I can't really say that we played well, but we still got the win, which is the key thing here. We got the win away from home. I think first time in like multiple years where we've won away from home against a Spanish team. Just says a lot about Europe again. But in general, just very, very excellent. I thought just very, very good result. Performance could have been much, much better, but we'll save that for the home leg. That's the important part. I'm not going to say Sevilla is out. You know, I'm not going to say we eliminated them now. But I'm saying that chances are at like a 90% right now. I think that's pretty much the chance of us going through at a 90%. We'll see exactly like how that goes. We'll see exactly how, you know, how accurate my prediction is that it's 90%. I feel like the home leg we're going to win as well. I think that's going to be like a 3-1 personally, or 3-0 depending on how we play again. But considering you usually always score at home, I am much, you know, my concerns that I had going into this tie are pretty much gone. Anyway, that's all there is for me. Let's have a quick look at the comment section, and then we'll call it a day. So, how you all doing in the comment section? Sevilla was actually better than I thought, but they were all divers. There was an incident like that in the first half where, I can't remember who it was exactly, but where somebody was diving, and the referee spot, I mean, you know, good that you mentioned that. Fair play to the referees today and the linesmen. I thought they were all excellent. I thought they handled everything very, very well. Like there was no decision besides the goal that they scored. But besides that, there was no actual instance I can think of where I was like, you know what, the referee did a very poor decision here. I mean, with the goal, it was a hand. It was more elbow than a hand, really, but it was still a handball. But overall, I thought like the referees and the linesmen were very, very excellent. I thought the linesman especially was very, very excellent. The referee too, he was fair. He gave 2 yellow cards, one to Müller. Well, two Bayern players I'm talking about. 2 yellow cards, one to Müller and one to Ribery, I believe. Which, on all fairness, were pretty fair. So, well done, referees. James was the key since he has experienced La Liga. The thing is, right, and I was gonna do a separate video on this eventually, like probably like next week or so, on just like the difference between leagues and if the Bundesliga has gotten much worse. But I always feel like there is not that much of a difference between the leagues. I feel it's just more so the playing style. And what I mean by that is that you have certain teams that have an ingrained playing style, so that really doesn't really depend on the leagues, because a lot of teams should just play similar. But there's always going to be your 2-3 teams in each league that just have a distinct playing style where you watch them and you're like, yeah, and you can like watch matches from like 10 years ago and you're like, yeah, that's the exact same playing style. But there's a lot of players that we had that have experience with Sevilla, that have experience in La Liga. You think of Robin, you think of Bernat, who I thought was probably the worst, perhaps not the worst, one of the worst players, alright? So you've got quite a few players that have experience. Javi, so you can't really say that, really, I believe. Biggest mistake of Real this season, absolutely. They took our Kroos, we took their Hammers. I'd still, yeah. I still would like to have Kroos at Bayern, though. Javi Martinez was very important, absolutely. I thought Javi Martinez, as always, usually, he plays a very, very good game. I thought like he was probably, I don't want to say our best player in midfield, but he was probably the one that snuffed out the most of the chance. I mean, he had a goal-saving challenge. He had multiple challenges in actual midfield. He was just such a rock, just very, very well. How do you like Lewandowski's performance today? He was a ghost. Let's be totally honest here. He wasn't very good today. I thought he was very, very poor, actually. But it really doesn't matter. Because I feel like I don't want to blame Lewandowski purely because purely based on the fact that our whole team, our attacking team, was pretty poor. I thought there wasn't really a standout player in attack. There was some that were obviously better than others, but there wasn't really a standout player in attack. But with Lewandowski, I'm just like, it doesn't really matter. We scored the goals. If you hadn't scored the goals, I would have been much more critical, even though they were reflective. But who cares? We scored the goals. What matters now is that he plays well in the home leg, and that's the key thing here. I love you, man. Well, I love you back, Dominic. Lewandowski is not good. No, you can't say that. Bernat got a yellow. Too. All right. Well, that could have led to why he was subbed off. I thought you had a very poor game. One of our worst players today, Bernat. So just hoping that he picks himself up, because the rumours are that Alaba is obviously injured, that he's got a back injury or whatever. The newspaper quoted. So I'm just hoping that he gets back, because quite frankly, and this is something that hasn't really been said by many people, but Alaba has had a terrible season this season. There's a lot of, I mean, not just this season, but he hasn't been at his best. Let's keep it at that, right? So I always wanted there to be like a real competition on the left back position, so that Alaba would have to improve, and that's not really what we have today. So it is what it is again. Rafinha did very, very well when he came on. I thought like he was excellent on the left. I thought once he came on, Rafinha, I thought our left was probably the best side. Before that, it was just primarily all through the right. But like once Rafinha came in the second half, I thought the game just switched to the left. He just wasn't good today. Exactly. Bernat, yeah, he was terrible today. What do you think about Jonas Hector to Bayern? I haven't seen a single source saying that, so I don't really want to speculate. Yes and no. Probably, I'm leaning more so on no. No. I'm saying no, unless there's actual speculations. I would still lean towards a no. But if there's actual speculations, then there may be more to it than I thought. But overall, no, I'm not a fan, to be totally honest. What do you think of the Highline Boateng on Hummels maintained tonight? Well, it worked and it didn't. There was a lot of instances where like one misplaced pass meant that that they were essentially having one-on-ones or one-on-twos, and I'm not a fan of that. I've never been a fan of that, of having like one-on-ones, one-on-twos, and especially not when you don't have Neuer. Because with Neuer, I'm, you know, not 90, 80% confidence that in a one-on-one he'll win. But Ulreich, you know, Ulreich is doing well. Let's not make a mistake here. Ulreich is doing really, really well. He's playing really, really well. But he's not a one-on-one machine like Neuer. Neuer one-on-one, he beats you 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10. But Ulreich isn't that, you know, that good. So I don't like high lines. A few times today we look very, very vulnerable. You know, last-ditch tackles here, last-ditch tackle there. If they, you know, if they were a bit more clinical, if they were a little bit better on the ball, they could have easily scored a goal here or there. So I'm just, or at least had a goal, you know, a one-on-one chance here or there. So I'm not a big fan of it, to be totally honest. But I was more so in the second half than in the first. First half there wasn't that much of a high line. In the second half, when we actually started pushing, when we actually started pressing more, not pressing, but when we moved up the pitch more, when we actually took more control, had more possession. That's really when we saw how exposed the backline was. But we still did very, very well. I mean, Hummels and Boateng did both really, really well. They won most of the challenges. But again, if they hadn't, it would have been a one-on-one chance against the keeper. So just shaky. That's really all I have to say to that. Lewandowski was poor today. It happens. He's still... Exactly. When we play against incredible teams, we are better. That's just the nature of the game, though. Like, when you play against better teams, you usually have to put your level up, so that's why you play better. That's why, really. Müller was, well, let's say awful. Müller was awful today. I thought first half, out of all attacking players, it was probably the best out of all attacking players in the first half. But then in the second half, when we started playing more, when we actually started being on the ball more, he really dropped off. So there was a lot of, like, neat little things he did. But there's a lot of like passes as well that just went nowhere, you know, just very bad. Crosses that went nowhere, which are also very, very bad. And the lack of movement as well. Like usually, even when Müller plays bad, there's always movement. But today, I felt like there wasn't really that much in the second half, especially. First half, I thought he was probably our best attacking player. How much would you ask for the sale of? I wouldn't sell Alaba. No, Alaba's hasn't had an off yet, but I really wouldn't sell him. First of all, I feel like, you know, he hasn't even reached his peak yet. So all he really needs is to just get him, ditch himself, you know, jump out the hole and then rise to the top. And I feel like once he jumps out the hole, he's gonna rise to the top. So I wouldn't sell Alaba, especially considering not that many great left backs on the market. Love you, man. Well, I love you too. Bayern not winning Champions League. Well, saying I can't really talk to you because your team Juventus just went out. Just saying. Müller's touch today was very poor. He always makes up for it with his incredible work rate. Yeah, that you can't fault him for. But usually, when I'm saying movement, I'm talking about especially attacking-wise. You know, creating movement, creating chances for other players. That wasn't really the case today. Real Madrid, they were just impressive today. I had the game on the second screen, and I was just watching. Like every time I looked over there, I just saw how good they were. Now, whether that's down to Juventus or whether that's down to Madrid, it was just both of them. Just Real Madrid was just on another level. So it's going to be difficult to really, you know, beat them in the Champions League. But it's going to be obviously the main task. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm quite positive. I'm quite looking forward to the clash if we ever get to that stage. So that's just what I want to see. What I'm hoping for. Let's see. Everyone should join his Discord. Link in the description. Exactly. The Discord is very, very active, actually. I'm like the least active person there. So if you guys want to join the Discord, link is in the description down below. Again, it's very, very active. There's a lot of fans, not just Bayern fans, but also Real Madrid fans, Barcelona fans, just, you know, the whole football fan thing going on. Missing Coleman so much. I mean, Coleman was definitely missed today. But I feel like it could have been worse. And I'm going to be cautious with what I say here. It could have been worse. It could have been worse in the sense that it could have happened much later in the season. So he could have, you know, been out for the whole season, which means he would have probably missed the World Cup too. But for him, that's not the case. He's probably not going to miss the World Cup, hopefully, and he might be back at the semi-finals if we can get to that stage, of course. We're in the semis. No way. Alright, yeah. Let's be totally honest here. We are 99%, I'm going to say 90%. I don't want to jinx us, but we are pretty much in the semis, right? Still, I want to be cautious here. I'm usually positive. I want to be cautious here because I don't know. I don't think, no. I mean, we should be 99% through, but I'm going to stick at 90. Yeah, Javi was man of the match. Without him, we would have lost. Good question. Was he? I'm going to have to disagree with you. I'm going to say Ribery. Ribery for me was man of the match. Now his overall play wasn't really that good. He got a yellow too, easily angry and whatnot. Alright. Overall, it wasn't really, it wasn't really that good of a play from him, but he got 2 of our goals. He got the first goal through an assist, and he got the second goal through, well, he assisted the second goal, so I am not complaining too. Oh, you could say he got assist for the first goal, depends how you take that deflection. I don't know. I thought Ribery, without him, we probably wouldn't have won. So I'm going to give him the man of the match. Although you could say the same thing about half our defenders today. Without them, we wouldn't have won, but it is what it is. Tower Save, welcome, how you doing? Allegri's a mole, he plays 3 centre-backs against Real. You do what you can, eh? I mean, alright, Real Madrid don't really play with wingers per se. Their fullbacks are more the wingers, whereas their wingers are more so their attacking forwards or their wide forwards. So it's not really winger per se, not in a traditional sense, but that shuts them down. It could have worked, it didn't. Which player do you want to see in... Well, that's a topic for much later. I'm not going to go into who I want to see for Bayern in the summer, because that's a whole different discussion. We're going to do a massive stream for that one of these days. Probably after the season, before the World Cup, and then once again after the World Cup on who I want to see come in. Ulreich has been good. Ulreich has been fantastic for me. He should have played instead of Trapp for Germany recently against Brazil. He deserves it. He totally deserves it. Can you tell who do you hope goes to the semis and who do you hope Bayern will get? Alright, what are the matches left? Tomorrow, well, okay, let's get that out of the way. Real Madrid are through. We are through. And then you've got Barcelona versus... Who's Barcelona playing? You've got Liverpool versus Manchester City. And I think... Manchester City, they are the better team. Roma, thank you everyone. Barcelona versus Roma, but I think Barcelona will go through. And then you've got Liverpool versus Manchester City. I feel like what? That's I want to bet on Pep. But the thing is, Klopp really is a cup coach. He really is a cup coach. Like, in cups, he always usually performs. His teams usually perform very well in knockout stages. So, City is obviously, they're going to win the Premier League. They are the better team this season, but I feel like Liverpool have a much better chance than people give them credit for. I think this could honestly be a 50-50. So, either team could really go. Manchester will be without Aguero for the... Then that gives the slight edge just to Liverpool. I'd say 55-45 to Liverpool. So I'm going to go with Liverpool then, in that case. I'm probably going to be totally wrong, but that's what I'm going for. Now, who do I want? Good question. Probably Barcelona. No, give me Real Madrid. Give me Real Madrid. You know why? 2012. That was the scariest Real Madrid I've ever seen in my life. The 2012 Real Madrid. And when we played them, that was the only time I went into a match thinking we're gonna lose, we're gonna get decimated. And then those 2 matches, the return leg and the home leg, were just so good. So I want to play against Real Madrid this season in the semi-finals, and I want to beat them. I want to beat them, alright? They can't win the Champions League again. If they win the Champions League again, I'm sticking to golf. Oh, I'm hoping that's not gonna happen. Name the player you would sell at the end of the season. I mean, there's a lot of players that will want to leave, but again, that's transfers and whatnot. That's going to be more so towards. I'm going to do videos on that more so towards the end of the season. Once I've actually sat down, once we actually know who the coach is that's going to come in, which is going to be the most important thing. Like, who's the coach? So we'll see. Allegri did it twice, by the way. He's a mole so stubborn because that got him killed in the final last year. I think the match was better than most think. We were bad in the first half, but I think Vidal was the key. The first 10 minutes we were phenomenal. Yeah, I said that earlier. The first 10 minutes we were absolutely amazing. Then we really let off, and then in the second half we were much better. We were the clear superior team in the second half. He couldn't keep it when we lost control. Roma, when he went off, we started to look better. We scored after a minute after he went off, so you can't really fault that logic. Rafinha was absolutely brilliant as well. Yep, totally agree with you, Richard. I think Bayern. Let me just read all these comments, and I'm gonna call it quits. So these are gonna be the last 4 comments that I'll read. I think Bayern did well in a tough place to get a result, but I thought Real Madrid would have a tough time getting free. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like before I went into this game, I thought we're gonna draw. I thought we were gonna get a 1-1 or a 2-1, or maybe even lose 2-1. Like I thought it's gonna be a very, very even game. Obviously, we now won, which is obviously very, very good. But the way the goals happened, really, the way the goals happen is just which makes this so fun, because two deflections, that's difficult. that's difficult to come back from. That's going out like that hurts. If I was a Sevilla fan, that would hurt, seeing my team go out like that, by 2 deflections. So that sucks for them. Ultimately, though, I couldn't care less, because that just means we're gonna go through. Heinkies just didn't want to make a substitution that early in the match. Well, he did 2 fairly early substitutions, Vidal and Rafinha, or Vidal and Bernat, I should say. Hope we face Liverpool in the... That would be something, wouldn't it? Klopp against Heinkies again in the final. That would be something. They have luck. Vidal, red card, missed penalty, Ronaldo offside. You're talking about Real Madrid here. I don't want to go back to that game from last year. I really don't want to go back to that game, because I've said my piece already on that. I feel like we are the weaker team, both legs. So I feel like ultimately we deserve to go out. But I felt like it was a little bit... The referee had a very poor... can't say 2 legs. The referees had 2 poor games. So that's all I will say to our game from last season. But I'm hoping we're going to get them this season again. Would love Griezmann or Bailey at Bayern. More so Bailey than Griezmann. I've never been a big Griezmann fan, so that's why. And that's the last comment. Niko Kovac bases his tactics. No, Niko Kovac doesn't base his tactics. If you read what Niko Kovac actually says, he says that he doesn't care about tactics and that it's all about heart, which to me is just... To me, that's just very, very foolish. Like him saying, oh, we don't need tactics. Tactics aren't really important. All that matters is heart. And tactics only come into play when you're losing. It's like... So what exactly are you doing? Coach, what exactly are you doing? Yeah, that's the interview. When I read that, I was like, please don't. Please don't. But he has been getting good results this season. We can't really fault him for that. The thing is that because of a weak Bundesliga, or is that because of his good team? That's a question for another day. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna, as I mentioned, I'm gonna do a video soon on just the Bundesliga as a whole. Whether it's really gotten that much weaker this season, whether it's still at the level it should be, whether it's weak in of itself. That will probably come out like next week or so. I'm just very, very busy at the moment for the next 3-4 weeks. So we'll see when exactly that comes out. But anyway, thank you everyone. I might do these more often, these actual streams for the post-match reviews, instead of actually recording it. That way I can actually read some comments, respond to some comments. So yeah. Thank you everyone who's been here, obviously, and have a nice day, everyone. Peace out, and bye.